Gentlemen, how's it going?
Great,
Great,
man.
great. Good to
Thank you
see
for
you,
talking
Jay.
to us.
Hey guys, thank you guys for taking the time. This is one hell of a show, and it's also one hell of a book, as a matter of fact, as well. But it's a little bit different. I mean, adapting a novel is one thing, but adapting a novel from a guy that was also a law professor when you're doing a legalese type show, was that kind of a little bit of a different ball game?
Yeah, it was that it really was. I mean, the writers, maybe to a lesser extent than actors, but writers, we have to embody a lot of different professions and characters. I don't know anything about a sort of the far-reaching world of American legal politics, but we learned and we spoke to some people who consulted us on certain things about the federal court and about law school. So we tried our hardest to keep it as real as possible while also, telling an entertaining story. But that was a very difficult aspect of it. Yeah.
I have to say, and I'm normally somebody that is not a big fan of flashbacks in shows, but I think the flashbacks that you guys do are great. I think the pacing is one of my favorite things about this show. So talk about how you all were able to kind of balance those flashbacks, because I felt like you guys took the look back exactly when you needed to, and that is an art form, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was you know, I've done it. If you shoot shows, you shoot flashbacks, right? You shoot film, you shoot flashbacks. Um, when I did Winning Time, that was instituting like Super 8 and that, literally changing the camera body. We didn't do anything as drastic on this one because we were doing digital capture, but we lent ourselves just to sort of look back through the books of the glass of that time period, meaning just the lens selection. So our current day was, the beautiful anamorphics is sort of what the audience has come to know as far as beautiful current day cinematography. And what we would do is if we were back in 14 or we were back in 17, sometimes it was just trying to find glass of that era so that it wasn't so jarring and it wasn't like, oh, let's switch to a sepia tone filter now.
Yeah.
And I believe even when we got into post, one of the things I remember first looking at was the text on screen. And I was like, man, do we have to keep doing this text on screen? I was just curious because we don't want to do all of this work and have our audience lost. But then I started getting full episode cuts back. And I was like, wow, I think we're almost in a world that if you do it once, just to tell them that we're doing it, the audience may actually visually just feel like it. Because if we've been watching TV for the last 20 years, we have in our brains at this point, we have all of these different type of signal captures. We just don't know it. So we brought it back out and just did it simply with just switching the glass.
Yeah, from a storytelling standpoint, I think that I appreciate your kind words about the flashbacks. I feel like it gave us a real sense of scope. I feel like we were trying to really give the audience a feel of a family that has been going through stuff for decades, and so it was important to us that we went back to those moments so that we could see them active on screen and not just have characters talk about what happened in the past.
No doubt about it. Really quickly, because I know we're short on time. What is the most interesting thing about this family dynamic? Because it's a darn good one.
Well, I'll say that I think the most interesting thing about the Garland family dynamic is about the expectations that they put on themselves and the expectations that they perceive that their dad, who's this larger than life figure, is putting on them. If you look at Tal, Addison, Mariah, and even Abby, who you meet later in the series, they all are wrestling with who they should be, who they want to be personally, and who the judge wants them to be, and that is a huge source of conflict, but also a huge source of empowerment for them at some time. So I think it's really about expectations and the expectations that family members put on each other.
No doubt about it. You guys will see it all on July the 14th. That is a Sunday, by the way, on MGM Plus. Emperor Ocean Park is going to be a must see for you. I promise you. Sherman, Damian, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.